for letting people know about what's going on in your store. So, some examples of what other businesses are doing. This is a Dunkin' Donuts one. They'll offer contests where you show how much you enjoy Dunkin' Donuts, and you post the video or the photo on their website, and they vote on it, and you win some ultimate Dunkin' Donuts prize. But that's something you could do. Maybe you have a new mix, and so you tell people, hey, put this mix in your feeder. If you get photos of the birds, post them on our page, and we'll give the prize for the one that we like best. Duncraft has been very active on both Facebook and Twitter. It's hard to read this, but people ask questions. Duncraft will announce when birds are being reported, like, oh, hey, juncos are being reported in the northeastern part of the city. They also will post photos and have caption contests. And the winning caption will get like a 20% discount to their online store. These are things that you can do with your page too on Facebook.
Is that something you recommend doing? I guess what I'm asking is that if you go in there and you allow them to post on your site, then you're opening yourself up for the same thing of like you discussed earlier.
Oh, that's an excellent question. Is allowing customers to post things on your site something that I recommend? And isn't that dangerous because then you can get spammers? It is something I'm recommending. And yes, it can be dangerous, you can get spammers, but if you check your Facebook page regularly, and if you get a spammer, if you report that to Facebook, Facebook generally tends to be very responsive.
Yeah.
And as long as you're checking your page on a regular basis, you can delete those posts right away. And you can also control what people can post. You can say, you can have it so people can post photos or links, or just photos. And generally in the birding industry and the nature industry, generally it's not a problem. When it does get to be a problem, it gets to be a problem when pages aren't monitored. Because a spammer will put something up once, and if no one catches it in a week, then they're all over it. And then you pretty much have to get rid of the page and start over. But if you're checking your page on a regular basis, it's generally not a problem. But that's a good question. There is risk in that, but in this business, it works out well. And you can set it up that people have to send you the photos before you post it to the page. If you wanted to do that, if that became a problem, you could just tell customers that they could email you the photos and then you could post it for them on Facebook. That is another option. Perky Pet has been doing quite a bit on Facebook. They've been creating quite a few videos on how to feed birds, which can actually benefit you if you carry any of their products. If someone has a question on bird feeding, they say, hey, Perky Pet actually created this great video, and it shows their feeders that I carry, and you can send that to them. Swarovski Optic, now I know not everybody carries high-end optics, but they've been doing some interesting things with their Facebook page. They had a contest if you already liked their page, and they said, if you can refer some of your friends to like our page, and they refer you, whoever has the most referrals, we'll give you a piece of crystal. And everybody who likes us for this week, they'll get a free t-shirt. So that was kind of an incentive to me and a few other people to send our friends to their page and to like them. And and then afterwards, like this is my friend TJ, he, as soon as he got his Swarovski shirt, he posted his photo on there. But it was just another fun contest. You can run things like that. If you become a fan from us between this date and this date, we'll give you a $5 coupon. There's a restaurant down the street from me called Falafel King. They just had that promotion, and I joined them because I love falafel, and $5 is $5 when you eat as much falafel as I do. But, and then the other thing is, Swarovski keeps things interesting because people can post photos. Someone had posted a couple weeks ago that you can look at Jupiter through your spotting scope. And so I started doing that. And a few other people who've never heard of Swarovski but happened to like them got that information too. It's like, wow, I may actually have to think about a scope now because I can use it not only for wildlife, but I can use it for astronomy too. So it's a way to inform customers about how to use your product. Now, this is an example of a product, of a Facebook page that you don't want to manage. I love Drill Yankee feeders. They're awesome feeders. And every time I give this particular presentation, I always update my slides 2 days because the internet changes so often. I checked this Drill Yankee's Facebook page this week. It has one question about a feeder that was posted by a customer in March of this year, and no one has answered it. Ouch. And there's nothing else on their page. That's not good, and that's opening yourself up for spammers, number one, but that also shows you're not very responsive. I mean, if you're gonna have a Facebook page as a placeholder, don't allow anyone to post anything to your wall, because this is not an example of good Girl Yankee customer service, and Girl Yankee in general has really good customer service. So, if you're gonna have a Facebook page, go all the way or don't go at all, because this is bad advertisement for you. It's incredibly important to interact. You want people to have conversations on your page. When people post stuff to your wall, on your Facebook wall, it shows up in their newsfeed. So their friends can see, oh, hey, Sharon just happened to post something to the Girl Yankee website today, and that might draw customers there. And it's just important to show that the page is active. It's also important to take control of your site before someone else does. David Sibley, field guide author extraordinaire, has had some real issues on Facebook because he doesn't interact on Facebook. And early on, he had someone who was impersonating him. And a couple of birders and I were like, oh, we're going to friend David Sibley. And then when we got to the page, it was all girls in bikinis. And so somebody sent an email, David Sibley, this has your picture and it says it's you. Is this really your Facebook page? So he had to contact Facebook and get rid of it. And then another birder created a David Sibley fan page. And you could go there and post what you liked about Sibley. A spammer got hold of it, and it just went hog wild. So it's better to have control of your name on Facebook. And you may be looking at this and thinking, I'm running a retail store. I have so much to do. This is going to take a lot of my time. Consider hiring someone to do it. I see nowadays, I'm on a listserv for birdwatching jobs from Cornell. And I see now that people are offering jobs to people who work from home to manage their social media. I just saw one recently. It said $10 an hour for someone to work 12 to 16 hours a week managing our Facebook page. You have to update so often. You have to also manage Twitter under our identity. You have to answer bird questions for people. So find someone young who's interested and has a little bit of bird knowledge. Consider hiring them, or make it, if you have part-time employees and one of them is interested in social media, consider hiring them to run your Facebook page. Now, we're running out of time, so we're going to go into Twitter. Twitter is microblogging, and essentially it's like your status update on Facebook. You can write a message. It can't be any more than 140 characters. You can use it to post links. You can use it to post photos. And it's more of a national to international type deal, but you can make it work for you locally too. And so if you're on Twitter, you follow people. Wow, it's really blurry. You follow people, and whoever follows you, whenever you write a tweet, that will show up on their Twitter feed, so they'll see your news. If no one's following you, then they won't see your tweets. There's some language learning for it. You'll frequently see RT, and that means to retweet. And if you see that before a message, that means that someone has forwarded on a tweet that you had written. So sometimes it kind of helps to keep the message below 140 characters, so that way someone can forward your message if it's interesting enough. @ signs come before someone's username. So I'm BirdChick on Twitter, but on Twitter it shows up as @BirdChick. My husband is B. Steitler, so it would show up as @B. Steitler. Duncraft is on Twitter. They're on as @Duncraft. And then sometimes you'll see the pound sign and then a word. That's called a hashtag. And basically what that allows people to do is to follow certain subjects. Like, we could have, at this gathering, had a Goldcrest hashtag. And then anyone who was maybe taking photos of product and sending that to their Twitter feed, or just writing updates from here, people who were not at Goldcrest could have followed the Goldcrest hashtag and gotten those updates. I follow one called birding. So that way if someone, let's say, posts a photo of a bird, and then so it's a photo of an eastern bluebird, and then they'll have a hashtag birding, I can follow anyone who posts something on the subject of birding, even if I don't follow that person. So here's an example of a tweet. Poor Shiara said, @BirdChick, very mixed up, which is which? NSWO or EASO? Other looks like Gizmo from Gremlins. Then she has a link, and then she has the hashtag birding. So basically, what is she asking? Hey, BirdChick, is this a photo of a saw-whet or screech owl? And then I clicked on the link, and I was able to answer that for her. And then anyone who was following the birding hashtag on Twitter was able to see that tweet, besides just me. Other things, this is from the Google homepage itself. This is hard to read, but this says up here, trends. They have a list of what's called trending topics. So if people are typing Halloween a lot in their tweets, they'll put that up and you can kind of see what people are talking about on Halloween. In some morbid ways, it's how you find out celebrities die. When Michael Jackson died, almost all the trending topics were Michael Jackson or M. Jackson. It's also a way to find out breaking news. Twitter will also have people it recommends that you follow based on people you're already following and who's following them. You can also use other applications. This looks really complicated, but this is a program called TweetDeck. And TweetDeck makes it easier for you to manage who you follow. It creates all these different columns that updates continually. This first column I have on my TweetDeck, these are what are called my birding feeds. These are people that I follow who generally write tweets about birding. They post photos about birds. Maybe it's a wild bird store, so I can kind of see what they're doing. The second column are people that I follow who are not interested in birds at all and very rarely post about birds. The center column is called a mention column. Anytime someone writes a tweet that has @birdchick in it, I know. So if I'm not following that person...
Can I have your attention, please? In about 5 minutes, I'll be repeating the Goldcrest Business Builder Marketing Aid session that we did yesterday. It is the same session, but if you didn't hear it, we'll be talking about our new wall decals, circulars, Wildbird University, and postcard program. So in 5 minutes, we'll be doing the Goldcrest Marketing Aids if you missed it yesterday.
All right, I gotta wrap this up quick. So I can see if anyone asks me a question, even if I'm not following them, I can see if someone forwards one of my tweets. Then this is my column that's for the birding hashtag, so anyone who writes birding, I'll see that. And then this is a column
Ed
of people...
Koharski, if you can hear this message, your box has come in. It's in the office. Ed Koharski, I have your box.
That last column is for people who send me private messages, which is another option you can have on Twitter. But you can post photos. I did this the night I arrived in my hotel room for the Goldcrest show because I had a hot tub in my room. So I sent a tweet to my husband that said, "Hey, @B Steitler, wish you were here." You can also post things. I do a thing called Today's Office where I post photos that show where I'm working from. This was from Monday. I work for the National Park Service and we do duck surveys this time of year. So that was my office on Monday, counting ducks on the Mississippi River. Clay Taylor from Swarovski, we did a thing called a digidual. And we both are into digiscoping. We put our cameras on our scopes and we take photos. So I challenged him to a duel on Twitter from his home in Corpus Christi, Texas, from my beekeeping yard in Wisconsin. We both had wireless access out there, and we had to see who could take the most bird photos before 4 p.m. Central Time on a Wednesday and post them to Twitter. So throughout the day, we were posting photos under the birding hashtag. So people got to see our photos. They got to see examples of digiscoping, and a lot of people. And what we did was, after we finished the competition, we went back to see who had forwarded any of our photos, how many followers they had, and we estimated that we had over 20,000 people watch our little online competition via Twitter. So that's an example of how you can forward things on. And if you're going to do that kind of stuff, do it on the weekdays, because people tend to use Twitter while they're at work. Don't Twitter on the weekends. And then we also put those photos over on Facebook, so people on Facebook could see what we did. So these are just different ways that you can use it. This is Amy Hooper from Wildbird magazine. She kind of keeps her magazine going in the public's eye. She'll have contests for books. The first person who retweets this tweet will win a Birds of Peru. She also does haiku contests on Twitter. Best haiku in the next 4 hours will win this book, because you get a ton of book samples when your books come out. Duncraft does caption contests on there. They answer a lot of birding questions. They update people when certain birds are being seen, and so they'll have something up. Juncos reported today. Here's something typically that's good for juncos. You want to be careful. You don't want it to be all advertising all the time. You want it to be kind of sneaky. You want to show that you're giving news and that you're giving information. It's okay to use it as a sales promotional tool, but you don't want to be considered spam. So if you kind of mix it in with interesting stories about birds, there are news stories about birds all the time. You can set your news finder on Google to come up with birding stories, or you can forward other people's things. And that's how you can get people to trust you. They like a story behind whoever they're purchasing something from. And I have to wrap wrap things up because it's about time for Mel. But I've thrown a lot of information at you in a short amount of time. If you have any questions, I'll be here. I think my shuttle is heading to the airport at 1 o'clock. So other than that, I'll be hanging out, and I'll be happy to answer any other questions that you have. But thank you, and good luck, and